Congratulations. We are so happy you recovered.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for everything.
Welcome home, my love.
Wishing you both a very happy life together.
Good luck with everything.
We'll see you later. Thank you for everything.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today's story is an emotional journey of love, sacrifice, and hope. Du spent many long days in the hospital fighting a life-threatening illness that once pushed him to the edge between life and death. During his darkest moments, Huyen never left his side. With her endless care and devotion, along with the tireless efforts of compassionate doctors, Du slowly began to recover. Step by step, he regained his strength, his will to live, and his dream of returning home. The day he was finally discharged from the hospital marked not just a medical recovery, but a powerful rebirth of hope. Returning to the farm he loved, Du realized that life's true happiness lies in simple moments, unwavering love, and the courage to never give up. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more emotional stories about love, healing, and the strength of the human spirit. Your support means everything to us and helps us bring you more meaningful stories every day. Thank you for watching, and let's begin the story. Du had spent many long days lying in the hospital because of a life-threatening illness that once seemed to have no way out. During the first days of his hospitalization, he was almost completely exhausted. His breathing was heavy, his eyes were filled with fatigue, and his body grew visibly thinner with each passing day. The cold hospital room, the shop smell of disinfectant, and the steady beeping of medical machines throughout the night often made him think that he might never return to the small home at the peaceful farm again. Yet, in those weakest and darkest moments, Huyen was always by his side, never leaving him even for a moment. She stayed awake through countless nights, sitting beside his bed, holding his hand tightly, as if afraid that letting go would mean losing him forever. Every morning, Huyen woke up early to prepare warm milk and soft meals, carefully feeding Du spoon by spoon, gently encouraging him to eat a little more so he could regain his strength. To her, every single breath he took was more precious than anything else in the world. The doctors at the hospital also gave Du special care and attention. They treated him not only with professional expertise, but also with genuine compassion. Every infusion, every medical checkup was closely monitored. On many late nights, the on-duty doctors still came by his room, speaking softly as they asked about his condition and carefully instructed Huyen on how to care for him and observe even the smallest changes. That dedication, combined with Huyen's unwavering love, helped Du gradually overcome the most critical stage of his illness. Day by day, his complexion became rosier, his breathing lighter. He began to sit up on his own, drink water without assistance, and eventually practice walking down the hospital corridor with Huyen supporting him. Each slow, unsteady step was a great victory, bringing tears to both of their eyes. As time passed, Du's condition steadily improved. Consecutive test results showed positive signs. The doctors smiled more often when reviewing his medical records. Huyen noticed that the spark of life had returned to Du's eyes, no longer clouded by despair. He began talking more about the farm, about the land they had once reclaimed together, about the chickens, the goats, and the lush green vegetable garden he had been separated from for so long. Every time he spoke of the farm, his voice grew warmer, as if that place itself was the source of strength that had helped him fight the illness.
Then, the day they had both been waiting for finally arrived.
That morning, the head doctor entered the room with a gentle smile and announced that Du was well enough to be discharged from the hospital. At that moment, Huyen could no longer hold back her tears, while Du stood still for a few seconds before breaking into a radiant smile. It had been a long time since he had felt such complete joy. The thought of going home, breathing freely again, and standing once more on his beloved farm made his heart beat faster with happiness. Huyen hurriedly packed their belongings, carefully folding each piece of clothing, while Du slowly looked around the hospital room that had witnessed his fight between life and death, his heart filled with deep gratitude. Before leaving, he bowed his head in thanks to the doctors, those who had saved his life with both knowledge and kindness. The car carrying Du and Huyen rolled away from the hospital under the gentle midday sunlight. On the way home, Du leaned back in his seat, gazing out the window at the familiar roads and rows of trees passing by. Everything seemed more beautiful than ever. Huyen sat beside him, occasionally turning to look at him with eyes full of love and relief. She knew the road ahead was still long, and that full recovery would take time, but as long as Du could return home and live in a familiar environment, she believed he would grow stronger each day. When the car stopped at the farm gate, Du could not hide his emotions. He stepped out slowly and took a deep breath of the familiar sense of soil, grass, and wind. Before him stood the small wooden house, the green garden, and the place that held so many memories of the two of them. Du reached out to touch the fence, its rough texture bringing a gentle smile to his face. Huyen stood beside him, silently watching that moment, her heart overflowing with a simple yet profound happiness. Du turned to her, held her hand tightly, and spoke softly but sincerely, thanking her for never giving up, for staying by his side during the darkest days of his life. Huyen only smiled through her tears, because to her, as long as Du was alive and standing there with her, every sacrifice was worth it. That afternoon, Du sat on the wooden chair on the porch, watching the farm bathed in the golden light of sunset. Huyen prepared a warm cup of tea, gently placed it in his hand, and sat down beside him. No words were needed, just sitting together, feeling the peace after the storm was enough to calm their hearts. Du knew that his illness had taught him to cherish life more deeply, to treasure even the most ordinary moments. He promised himself that he would live slowly, grow stronger, and continue building the farm and the happiness he and Huyen had nearly lost. In that moment, the farm was not just a place to return to, but a symbol of hope, life, and a love strong enough to overcome every hardship.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Live Single RV. Vậy là câu chuyện của chúng ta ngày hôm nay đã kết thúc tại đây. Trong câu chuyện hôm nay của chúng ta thì Đệ đã hồi phục và được xuất viện. Huyền và Đệ đã rất là vui mừng vào giây phút đó. Cuối cùng thì cô cũng đã góp phần vào việc chữa khỏi bệnh cho Đệ, giúp anh hồi phục trở lại. Mọi tình tiết hấp dẫn về câu chuyện Huyền, Đệ cũng như bé May A, cuộc sống xung quanh họ sẽ còn được kể vào các tập tiếp theo. Các bạn đừng quên bấm vào nút đăng ký kênh để nhận được thông báo mới nhất về các tập phim sẽ được phát sóng hàng ngày trên kênh Live Single RV nha. Đừng quên bấm vào nút subscribe, đừng quên bấm like, share và để lại comment in below video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye and see you soon.